My name is Marc Estrada, and I am a modeler here. I'm a lead modeler here at Tippett Studio. Modelers, we're in charge of building CG assets for different films. That's characters, sometimes environments, props, vehicles, and we'll build these assets for the visual effects work that we do. Tippett Studio is the visual effects studio started by Phil Tippett. Phil Tippett is the Academy Award winning legendary stop motion animator from the first Star Wars films, and then in through like RoboCop, Dragonheart, and then eventually Jurassic Park, Starship Troopers. And he transitioned his company from stop motion animation to computer graphics, CG animation. During the film Jurassic Park. And then since then, Tippett Studio has been largely computer graphics, visual effects company with the occasional stop motion work. Like we did some stop motion work for the last Star Wars film and some other side projects that we still do stop motion sometimes. So visual effects, that's what Tippett Studio does. Visual effects mostly for feature films, but increasingly for commercials, internet-related things, theme park rides, a couple of rides, and so we're really kind of started doing many different types of projects. What's nice about Tippett Studio is we're not really big, and we're not very small, and we have a very high skill level for our size. So what I like about Tippett Studio is you have a lot of freedom to do different things. A lot of times we'll get projects, and because we don't have 25 people on the modeling department, we just have a few people, you have a chance to solve more problems and do more things yourself. So many times a project will come in and we'll talk with the whole team, and it really winds up being not the same people doing the same things, but whoever has the skill can do something. So sometimes modelers will also texture, or a modeler can run and help light shots or be involved a little bit with animation, or a texture artist can do some modeling work, or a texture artist can do some lighting. There's a lot more crossover between departments and disciplines. So that's kind of nice here. And the ability to talk directly to your supervisor or the lead person on a show is nice as well. In some places, it's so large, you have to have a really top-down, big hierarchy, and so you might be 5 steps removed from the top person. Well, here I can just say, hey, what's going on? I can just ask them directly, because we're more what they call flat hierarchy. You still have a boss and a boss and a boss, but it's a lot more level. Our modeling team is great. Right now it's kind of a young team, so we've been working the last couple of shows to kind of raise the level. What I love about our current team though is everybody's very motivated to improve, and I feel like it's one of the first times in many years where everybody on the team is kind of looking the same direction together. And I'm excited about the next year. I really want to help the guys raise their level really quickly. I think the number one thing that anybody should do is traditional skills. The industry changes so quickly that understanding form, shape, how things are built, being both an artist and an engineer, and then, in computer graphics in general, we have lighters like TDs who shoot photography, who also shoot like this, like they light real world things, and they do side projects shooting their own films. So then they bring the real world lighting, real world composition, real world colors into their work every single day. You also need to know the tools, but I feel like the tools, I can teach somebody tools very quickly. But teaching somebody how, for instance in modeling, how to sculpt a really good human, I can't teach somebody how to sculpt a human in 2 weeks. you need months and sometimes years of work in front of a live model, in front of reference, trying and trying again, getting feedback from teachers. It takes a long time to get that skill. So when I look at a portfolio, I look for very strong traditional skills and also some design work that the person can make decisions by themselves. Because many times we don't always get every answer given in the artwork. Someone gives us like a 3/4 view of a character and says, okay, build the character, and then we like, well, but what does it look like from the back? And they say, well, I don't know, figure it out. And so you need to just figure out the problem on your own. So you need to both like follow directions and make things exactly what they look like and be able to think independently. So in somebody's portfolio, I look for strong traditional skills, great sculpting, great creatures, great humans, because that's what I love, but really strong realism, and then also some creativity. So I would say it's like, I don't know, I'll put a number, 70% realism, 30% creativity, and 0% garbage. Like if you should never show anything that's not great. I did that in my own first demo reel. I had 5 or 6 pieces, but I only put 4 really good ones, because the minute you put a not so strong piece, you suddenly tell whoever's looking, you're basically communicating that like, that's the best you have, because your next is bad. But when you only show good things, it seems like, wow, it's only good things forever. Like it gives the illusion that you only ever do great things. And it also shows that you have an eye for editing, because a lot of what we do is editing, knowing how to cut out bad choices. So when you show a bad piece of art in your portfolio or an amateur piece of art, it makes me realize that, that person's eye has not developed to a high level yet to know that that's not good, take it out. So that's one thing. Only put in great work, and maybe 70% realism, 20 or 30% creativity, your own thinking. The first thing is basically, how do you train to get good at modeling? The second part is kind of what you're saying, how do you be a good worker as a modeler? So there's always 2 parts for an artist. Chris Oatley covers this like on his nice blog and podcast that he has. He says 2 really great things. He says the only 2 things you need to think of is you have to be good and you have to be good to work with. So the first part is easy to work on in school, getting very good at your job. That's basic requirement. You have to be a good artist, a good modeler in this case. The second part is you have to be good to work with. You have to work well on a team. You have to communicate well. You have to be able to take input and critique, because it's not about your ego, it's not about you, it's just about the character or the asset you're making. If somebody says the nose is too long, yeah, but it's not, they're not saying you are wrong, they're just saying the character's nose is too long and just move it. So basically you have to be good to work with. Strong communication skills, be able to take a critique, and also be able to speak, like be able to communicate your situation or your needs or your thoughts about the character or about the way things are working. So do good work and then be good to work with. That's how you build a career. So there are many people who are very good and nobody wants to hire them because everybody knows that they are hard to work with. So it doesn't matter how good you are at that point. It's better to have a team of people who are pretty good, but who are very good to work with, and we can communicate quickly, distribute the work, share things together. Like we're doing that right now in our department. We're working on some things together, and it's just happening very quickly because everybody's saying, okay, I'll do this, you do this, you got this, he's got that. And nobody cares what the other person's doing, we're just working together, and so like, it's building very quickly because nobody has an ego about it. Nobody has a problem with the work they're assigned. So that's much more important for efficiency. Do good work, be good to work with. Yeah.